Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Backyard Vegetable Gardening Channel. Today is January the 9th, 2024. Sure hope you're having a great day. Well, I don't know about what's going on where you're at, but it's a real rainy day. Just flood warnings and all kinds of winter weather advisories up north of us. But we sure are glad to be with you, to be indoors. And today we're going to talk about this wonderful stuff called Coco Coir. I've never used it before. It's all the rage right now. Says it's a better alternative to peat. To be honest with you, the only reason I'm trying it is because I don't want to have big, bulky blocks of peat out under the carport. This stuff right here is compressed brick. It says it's, I don't even know how much that is. A pound maybe? I don't think it is, but don't hold me to that. But anyway, we're going to see how much it expands. So if you'll bear with me, we're going to get things set up. I'm going to try things a little different today. I'm experimenting with the audio, experimenting with the video. Going to try getting some shots with the camera and the smartphone. So stick around and we'll see how much this stuff expands. All right, everybody, I think we've got everything ready. Got the camera going, got the smartphone going. Let's open up this brick of Coco Coir. Now, according to the product instructions, it says needs warm water. Well, I've got room temperature water available to me. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to see what it does. It says to pour some water on it. The warmer the better. And come back in 30 to 40 minutes, break it apart, and try it again. So let's just see here. There's some water. Try not to make a big old mess. And I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's slowly starting to absorb. I'm kind of curious to see how much volume is achieved when this stuff is hydrated. I was reading online, and there's a lot of claims. It says it might be as much as 3 times the height or the size. And then some people said 6 times, and there's no definitive answer on that. But from what we see here, it's expanded pretty good. See, I'll step over here and grab another brick, and we'll compare it. All right, so as you can see, from the size, I'm not going to put this down there in the tray, but it's already gained considerable size. But it says to let it soak for 30 minutes or 40 minutes and then come back and do it. I'm not so sure I don't need to put more water on it. It's done absorbed all of that water. So let's give it a little bit more water here. I hope my tray is big enough. I should have got one of the bigger pans like used to mix concrete and cement with, but I figured we'd use one of these heavy-duty seed starting trays. Well, it's falling apart now. So you can hear the water running down through it, folks. I don't know if you can hear that on camera. It almost sounds like Rice Krispies. If you've ever ate any of those Snap, Crackle, Pop, that's kind of what it's doing. And it's getting larger and larger. Let's see here. If I stand this up on its top, it's already almost as tall. So I guess we've at least doubled the size of the brick at this point. Well, we'll let it sit, and in 30 minutes, we'll come back and we'll see how much it's grown, and hopefully it won't fall over and make a mess here on the table in the office. Looks like the Coco Coir has done its job, and it's time for me to try to break it up in here without making a huge mess in my office. So I think if I was smart, I would grab me another one of these trays. All right, we're back. So I think my first recommendation to anybody would be to use a larger size tray than a 10-20 tray. So let's see what I can do without making a huge mess here. Yeah, man, it's done pretty good, and I think it can take some more moisture, just to be truthful about it. This is half the block almost. No, it's not even half the block, and I've done filled up my tray. So my first inclination was that I should be using a larger tray like you would mix concrete with outside, and I was right. So we're going to see how much of this stuff, because it's fairly dry. I mean, it's moist, but I'm confident that it's going to expand more with a little more water. Wow. So we'll get this all broke up here, and then we'll compare it to what it started with. And that was one of the things, the reason I was making the video. I know that if I had done that amount of research and couldn't find anything but a marketing video to satisfy my curiosity, which did not satisfy my curiosity, I figured if I could do this and let you guys see for yourself what happens, you'd be more informed, and so would I. I was going to benefit from the experience, but there's no sense not making a video about it if there's not a video already available. And if there is, leave it down in the comments. I'd like to give them a shout out, because I surely would have appreciated it, because what I wound up doing was buying two cases of these things, just to make sure that I would have enough for my seed starting. And for what I'm gathering, one brick, unless this stuff expands even bigger, one brick is going to let me start about 2, maybe 2.5 trays. Of course, we're not going to plant them in these flats. We're going to put them in our nursery cups and our seed cells. So what I'll do is, I've done used all of this water. Just give it just a little bit more what's left, and I'll get some more water. And don't want to do too much here because I'll make a mess. Excuse me, folks. I'm going to grab another bottle of water. All right. Just got a little bit more water here. I'll tell you what. I am going to also grab a watering can. And I'm going to do this a little bit more controlled way. These little watering cans are great for indoors. You know, when you're inside, you really don't want to deal with a great big old can. And these little bitty cans right here, about the right size, they hold right at a half a gallon. And you can get them in there to water your plants. You can take the ends off. That way you just got the little spout there. So we'll call that good. Yeah, it's still soaking it up. So let's try to do our best not to make a mess with this one. And it says we should give it another 15 to 30 minutes after we do this. Don't know if it's going to expand anymore or not, but I don't want to make a mess. So folks, we'll stop the video for a minute and I'll come back in about 15 or 20 minutes. All right, everybody, it's been about 25 minutes. Let this stuff soak a little bit more. To be honest with you, it didn't get any bigger. So let's see what we got going on here. Yep, it is too wet now. So now we have to go through the draining process. So I shouldn't have put no more liquid in it. So what we'll have to do is we'll get us another container and we'll squeeze the water out of this and move it. I could just dump it in a different container with holes in it and let it go that way. But I figure I'll speed it up. So you know what I did for 1 block of the Coco Coir, it was 3 liters of water, and I added about 5. I believe if I would have just added the 3 liters, that would have been all. I wouldn't have put no more than a gallon because this is really, really wet. And now I've got to do some draining. Well, folks, we're back. Everything's been taken care of. And if you're curious to how much one of these little bricks of Coco Coir will expand to, well, if I'm not mistaken, this is a 3.5 gallon nursery pot. And it's almost plumb to the top. So I think that's a pretty good value. I think we'll get plenty, at least 2, maybe 2.5 trays of seeds. We'll mix that with some perlite, because that's what we have on hand. We could use vermiculite if we had some, but we keep lots of perlite, and that's what we'll do. We'll mix that with some perlite, pack it into the seed trays and the nursery pots, and we'll get our seeds started. So if you was curious to how much Coco Coir comes out of one of these, I sure hope that answered your question. It answered my question. Now I've got 19 more bricks. So we've got plenty for a good long while. As usual, it's been my pleasure. Great joy to be with you. Hope you're having a great day. See you next time.